Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to call the Flint Board of Education Committee of the whole meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Board members, I call your name. Could you please reply present for the record? Trustee King,
Present.
Treasurer Luna, Trustee Relaford,
Present.
Vice President McIntyre,
Present.
Assistant
Present.
Secretary Treasurer Booth,
Present.
Secretary Perkins,
Present.
myself, President McNeil, 6 present, 1 absent. The board will now hear comments from the public. We ask that you state the reason for addressing the board and that you limit your remarks to 3 minutes on matters within the authority of the board and not address individual by name. The presiding officer of the board shall have the right to limit the number of persons who may address the board. Please state your name and address before you begin to speak. Is there anyone here from the public who wishes to address the board? Please come forward. Where are you speaking at? Right here. Thank you. Hold on one time. We're going to need you to speak into the mic. This is kind
My
of new
name
for
is
us.
Sonia Sims Akins.
Okay.
I am a grandmother of an 8th grader at Home STEM Academy. I stay on Ballinger Highway. I received a letter from one of her teachers. It was given out Friday, but she didn't bring it home until yesterday. And I would like some information, answers on what is this I hear about asbestos on the door, things that wasn't changed out back during the renovations and things, and some other things going on. I would like for you and your staff, Mr. Jones, to address that. How are our kids in this situation? We already going through this water that is killing us, with cancer and everything, and now we got to deal with lung conditions. I let my child stay there because she wanted to, and I'm just trying to get her through, but I don't want her there and none of the other students. I thank God for the concerned teacher that decided to put the letter out, and I think the parents should be up on everything that's going on in that building or anywhere else, and especially when I chose to leave my grandchild here, when everybody else have let their kids go everywhere else. I want it to be addressed, and all the money that you put in to build this cube, I think the focus is really on this cube and not our babies. And then you want kids to come back to Flint. No, I don't think the intention really is for our children to come back. I think it's going on the path that is intended to go on. Please address this. Let the parents and the administration know what's going on. Give us some help. And her mother would have been here, but she had to work. But as a grandparent, I am deeply concerned for all the children in Flint. And Mr. Jones, me and your mother grew up together, went to school together, and your grandfather, pastor, and you're a minister. Please have a heart for our kids that don't have a chance. I mean, I'm not going to be around here longer. I mean, I'm 73 years old. I want the best for all our children. Let them be treated equally. Give them opportunities. Put things in these schools that's going to benefit them. Give them back swimming. Give them things that can make them creative and do things. Please, I'm begging, help our babies. Everybody don't have the opportunity to leave out. Everybody don't have that. And the ones that can, they go and they don't care anything about the ones left behind. I'm tired of the people sleeping on the streets and everything. Kids don't have. I'm begging. I am truly begging, not just for my grandchild, but all the ones in the neighborhoods that don't have. And I'm tired of parents and grandparents not coming forth. I don't like doing this. This isn't what I want to do. But the Lord then put it on my heart. Step forward. It might not be sitting in the church and praying. Get out in the community and try to help the ones out there while you have a chance. Because time is coming to an end. We are truly in the last days. Preachers may have started talking about the end times. Forget back then. Get prepared now and help you all you can, Mr. Jones, to help these babies. And me and you share 2 nieces in the family, too. I got your 2 nieces getting ready to graduate. It's my nieces. Help these babies, please. Not for me, but for the city of Flint that you represent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else from the public who would like to speak? Please come forward.
right. Hello. My name is Marquetta Hall. You said address, right?
You don't have to, but go ahead.
Got you. 310 East 3rd Street. And I'm here with Ryan Boyteen, our operations director. I wanted to take some time today. So, hello, I'm Marquetta Hall. I'm the program director for the Flint Freedom Schools Collaborative. And I was coming to you all today to share some of the highlights that we saw from the CDF's Freedom School summer program that we piloted at Potter Elementary this past summer. Throughout the 8 weeks of the program, we saw a lot of growth within the scholars. I was there almost every day. I saw it myself. It was really affirming to see the day-to-day progress in the scholars' literacy, their character development, their confidence, and all of those things. And I want to just share some of the data points that we collected throughout the summer. So just within literacy, we tested the scholars and saw that 87.5% of the scholars that we tested maintained or improved their literacy scores, right? Some of these scholars improved 2 grade levels within like their vocabulary, their sight words, comprehension of the context. So that's something that we really, I really want to highlight that we were proud of. At the end of the program, we surveyed the scholars, and we found that 83% of the scholars surveyed said because of their Freedom School experience, they enjoyed reading more, and we're really proud of that. Outside of just those things, the scholars evidenced more confidence within themselves. Their families said that they had more confidence, right? The kids, their families said that they like to read more. They increased, of course, their literacy skills, but they also increased their advocacy skills. And they were able to showcase all of the things that they learned and all of the skills that they've gained through the program, through the National Day of Social Action and the program finale. I want to acknowledge the FCS staff, their love for the scholars, and their quick adaptation to our model. Really ensured that we had a successful program with this being our first year. They welcomed us with open arms, and it was really, affirming to see how much they enjoyed facilitation. We conducted surveys for the staff, and I wanted to highlight one of the reflection points that one of the teachers wrote at the end of their reflection. She said, Freedom School helped me remember why I teach, because I love children, and the real quality education is important for all of the students. Freedom School helped me make learning fun again. I sent you all a comprehensive report of all of our findings on the 29th. It has all of our successes, all of our challenges, all of our barriers, but also the data that we've collected throughout the program. I want to say that if you haven't had a chance to read through it, please do give us feedback. Let us know what you all think. On behalf of the Flint Freedom Schools Collaborative team, I want to thank y'all for this partnership opportunity, and we're really invested in continuing our partnership and moving forward for Flint kids. So
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next.
Hi there. Can you hear me okay? Yes. This is a new setup, so I'm getting used to it.
Okay.
My name is Samantha Farah, and my address is 224 East Court Street. And it is an honor to be here to speak with you all today, so thank you so much for the time. I am a proud graduate of Flint Central High School. I wore my varsity jacket here today because I have so much pride of being a graduate of the Flint Community Schools, but specifically of that institution. And not only am I just a graduate there, but I am a third-generation graduate of that school. And so I would like to thank you so much for your continued support and shared desire for a Flint high school that is in the heart of the Cultural Center. I know there's a lot of work that's been put into getting to this point, and I don't take that for granted. I really do thank everybody here for prioritizing that and putting in all the effort to ensure there's a high school in that location. But the recently presented plans acknowledge the community's desire for preservation. I do believe they missed the mark, and that this board would be missing the opportunity to not just preserve a wall or a singular feature, but to protect one of the few standing institutions that represent the rich cultural heritage of our community. When I have appeared before you in the past, I focused on, and I've been here a couple times, I focused specifically on Central. But Whittier, its neighbor, is just as beautiful and just as prominent, and has so much value to offer, more than to be raised for a parking lot. I believe that historic preservation is not at the expense of student learning, but with student learning at the center of this reconstruction. I believe student performance isn't only about the curriculum or the teachers, which I know everyone is focused on, and y'all have also put so much effort into ensuring high standards for our students, but it's about the physical learning environment. Historic buildings have positive impacts on human behavior. They foster a sense of place, inspire creativity, and were built with human interaction in mind, offering a thoughtful and integrative approach that we don't often experience in newer construction. I mean, we look at buildings like Harvard, Yale, Columbia, U of M. Those aren't just known for their academic rigor. While that's important, they're also known for their historic gravity and visual identity that set them apart from other academic institutions. There's a reason they carry the prominence that they do. And those aren't just examples from faraway places. This was done here with the redevelopment of the Michigan School for the Deaf into the Powers Catholic High School campus. A beautiful building in a prominent location that we all know and love, but my tax dollars aren't supporting Powers Catholic High School. They're supporting this one, in a building that I love, in a setting that I love. And once those walls come down, they cannot be rebuilt. And so you have the opportunity and the responsibility to demand more from the planning team, to offer us solutions that don't just incorporate a historic feature here or there, to say they did it, but to protect the cultural institution for our students, first and foremost, but also for our entire city now and for generations to come. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public?
Hello. Kurt Nicewender, 1007 East Fork Drive in the College Cultural Neighborhood. So good evening, President and the board. My name is, excuse me, I already said that part. But I am also an architect as much as I am a resident, right? And so a local architect. And so I want to speak not only to the professional aspects of the project, but someone who values the city's history, cares deeply about its future. And it's not just simply about a high school building. It's about the integrity of the entire campus. The high school and Whittier sits within in the East Village. And so preservation, I'd like to say, is also about sustainability. The former National Trust President, Richard Moe, reminded us that preservation can play an essential role in fighting climate change. And you may not think that, but an existing building is the most sustainable building, right? We've already got embodied carbon built into every brick that's laid on that site. And so preserving that building will maintain a much stronger sustainable future rather than tearing it down and releasing that carbon into the atmosphere. However, we don't need to get into too much of the science there. But moving on to the Secretary of Interior's standards for rehabilitation of historic structures state that the historic character must be retained of any significant building. Any deteriorated features should be repaired, not replaced. New additions should not destroy the materials, but differentiate and be able to be reversed, to not impact the historic character of the existing building. In the 2023 concept of the high school, there was more preservation of some more aspects of Flint Central High School. The 2025, the current concept on the table discards almost all of that and proposes a very modern building wrapping around a few relics, including the front entry and a library wall preserved behind modern glass and steel, which effectively turns the existing high school into a museum display, which would be considered, in my opinion, architecturally disingenuous and environmentally wasteful to build a new structure simply to house fragments of the old, rather than restoring the landmark as a viable working component of our city and the urban fabric. A few additional critiques with my time. By placing just a couple of components of the existing building, behind a glass wall, reduces our ability to enjoy the building, right? It then just hides it behind another structure, taking it away from, being a functional component, a functional and landmark icon of the east side of town. Anyway, and then continuing, costly and pointless, right? So wrapping a modern addition around these wastes money and the embodied energy that I earlier spoke about. Spending millions of dollars in construction of new to displace fragments while the underlying historic fabric is sacrificed, right? So this project replicating what we already have, a modern building in front of a preserved relic. It would be more fiscally responsible and sustainable to rehabilitate the existing structure and add additions onto it sensitively that can respect and maintain that historic character. And since there's not much time left, I think I've gotten most of my point across. But essentially, historic buildings are not obstacles to progress. They're assets. Preserving Flint Central and Whittier as functioning parts of the high school honors our past, meets our future needs, and supports climate responsibility. A design that discards these components, is both wasteful and disrespectful. So let's choose a path that sustains the heritage and strengthens our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Francis. Is there anyone else from the public who would like to speak?
Good evening. Thank you for your time. My name is Cade Surface. I'm a resident at 410 Mason Street here in Flint. Based on what I heard from some of the other commenters as I was coming in, I think you've already heard a lot of my points, so I'll try to be careful with your time. And I'm not a graduate of the school district like Sam here, or an architect like Kurt, but I am an urban planner and a designer, and someone who has had the privilege of being able to work in communities all over the country and on projects that really bridged this sometimes tough gap between preserving these old buildings that everyone kind of agrees that we know and love, but just the contemporary issues of costs and having buildings that actually serve contemporary needs of our students or of our residents and things like that. So just know that I don't envy the position that you are in. I understand that these are tough things, and I also just want to say thank you for decisions that were made a couple of years ago to not raise these buildings, to not tear them down, which was, I know, under serious consideration. A few years ago, you were told that those buildings were posed an imminent danger to the people around them, to the values of land around them, and I'm really glad that you guys saw through that argument and voted not to demolish them, so now that there is something to at least consider saving to be able to have this debate over. But I think, I know these decisions are hard, and I know that it can be really hard, especially when we're sitting in a facility like this. How lovely is this, right, that we're in, to consider like how nice and comfortable and lovely are new things, It's very easy to be seduced, pardon the language, by the idea of fresh glass and fresh carpet, especially when we're dealing with something as challenging as just looking at Central and Whittier as facilities to fix. But I think it's important to just share that this is a challenge that's really worth considering because the scholars in our school district and our neighbors here in the city of Flint are worth the challenge that goes along with it. So it is going to be a cost, but there's going to be a cost to everything, right? There is something intrinsically valuable about an old building. Everybody across the board, even folks that say that this building is too far gone, say that they wish it wasn't. So I'm hearing really a level of agreement from across our community that this is a valuable piece of architecture, that this connects us to a tradition, that it is intrinsically valuable to students, that they live and work in a beautiful place. And so I say, if it is worth it for us to save an old theater downtown, or an old hotel, or an old bank, or an even older school for a population that is not our Flint Community School students, I think it is worth it to exhaust every single option to see what is preservable about this building and its neighbor, to make sure that we are not removing from those students' experience the value that just comes along with it and that absolutely cannot be replaced. These buildings are the most important buildings that are remaining in our city that are not restored. These are buildings that do not exist elsewhere in the county, and this is an asset that we can leverage over anybody else in the county as valuable for our students here. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Is there anyone else from the public? Seeing no other speakers, I now turn the floor over to Trustee Rutherford for the human resource portion of the agenda.
All right, good evening, everyone. I would like to call the Human Resource Committee of the whole meeting to order. I will now call upon Superintendent Jones to present action to the board. Superintendent Jones.
Thank you, Trustee Rutherford. Good evening, Board of Education. I would like to seek a motion and a second from the board to move Resolution 1.9, personnel recommendations to the regular board meeting on October 15th for adoption.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to move item 1.9 to the regular board meeting.
Is there any support? It has been properly moved and supported by Mr. King. Motion by Mr. King and supported by Secretary Perkins. Is there any discussion? I would definitely like to just say that seeing the certified teachers come on board is definitely a plus. And Mr. Curtis, I know he has several years of experience in the community, and he has a heart for the students. So kudos to Mr. Curtis. I believe his wife is also a teacher here. They are exceptional for the students. A lot of students return back once they're adults to come back and say hello, and that means a lot. So if there's no further discussions, the motion to move Resolution 1.9 personnel recommendations to the regular board meeting for adoption will be conducted by a roll call vote. As I call your name, please say yes or no to approve this motion. Trustee Luna is absent. Trustee King?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
President McNeil?
Yes.
Trustee Booz?
Yes.
Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
And myself, Trustee Rutherford? Yes. Mr. Jones?
I seek a motion and a second from the board to move Resolution 1.10, approval of 403B service agreement to the regular board meeting on October 15th for adoption.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move to have 1.11 moved to the regular board meeting.
Support.
It has been supported by who?
McNeil.
President McNeil. It has been properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
1.10.
1.10.
I amend the
I
motion.
apologize. Oh, go ahead. You want to amend it?
Yeah. Madam Chair, I move to amend the motion to have 1.10 moved to the regular board meeting instead.
Any objection? It's fine. Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's move forward. Any discussion? No discussion? All right. With no discussion, let's move. I'll go to regular the motion to move Resolution 1.10, correct?
Yes.
To approval of 403B service agreement to the regular board meeting for adoption will be conducted by roll call vote. As I call your name, please say yes or no to approve this motion. Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Booz?
Yes.
President McNeil?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Mr. Loon is absent. Myself, trustee Rutherford, yes. Mr. Jones?
Yes, I seek a motion and a second from the board to move Resolution 1.11, authorization to approve healthcare services contract agreement to the regular board meeting on October 15th for adoption.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to have item 1.11 move to the regular board meeting.
Supported by trustee. It has been properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the motion to move resolution 1.11, authorization to approve healthcare services contract agreement to the regular board meeting for adoption will be conducted by a roll call vote. As I call your name, please answer yes or no to approve this motion. President McNeil,
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre,
Yes.
Trustee King,
Yes.
Trustee Booz,
Yes.
Secretary Perkins.
Yes.
Myself, Trustee Rutherford answers yes. Oh, we have 6 yes and 1 absent. Sorry about that, y'all. I guess I should have been doing that. All right, Mr. Jones?
Yes. I seek a motion and a second from the board to move Resolution 1.12, resolution to accept the letter of agreement filling Homebound.Homebased teaching position to the regular board meeting on October 15th for adoption.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to have item 1.12 move to the regular board meeting.
It's been properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the motion to move resolution 1.12, resolution to accept the letter of agreement filling homebound home-based teaching position to the regular meeting for adoption will be conducted by a roll call vote. As I call your name, please answer yes or no to approve this motion. Treasurer Luna is absent. Trustee King.
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre.
Yes.
President McNeil.
Yes.
Trustee Booz.
Yes.
Secretary Perkins.
Yes.
Myself, Trustee Rutherford, is yes. Six yes, 1 absent. Mr. Jones?
Yes. I seek a motion and a second from the board to move Resolution 1.13, resolution to accept contract of employment for competitive event scheduler to the regular board meeting on October 15th for adoption.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to have item 1.13 move to the regular board meeting.
It's been properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, the motion to move resolution 1.13 to accept contract of employment for competitive event scheduler to the regular meeting for adoption will be conducted by a roll call vote. As I call your name, please say yes or no to approve this motion. Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
Trustee Booz?
Yes.
President McNeil?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Myself, Trustee Rutherford is a yes, is 6 yes, 1 absent. In your packet on page 29 is information items 2.4, retirements and resignations. Do any board members have any questions? Thank you.
There's only one person, is that correct?
You good?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you, Superintendent Jones. Seeing no further business, I declare the Human Resource Committee of the Whole adjourned. I turn the floor over to, who's doing?
Finance, Trustee Booth, Looney is absent.
Oh,
so-
Trustee Boones for the Finance and
Hold on one
Operation Committee of the Whole
With the information.
portion of the agenda. It is now 6:59 PM.
Do you see where you started?
Yes. I seek a motion, a second from the board to move.
No,
no.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like to call the Finance Operation Committee meeting as a whole.
Go ahead and read the script, yeah.
Is your mic on?
I would like to call the Financial Operation Committee as a whole meeting to order. I will now call upon Superintendent Jones to present action to the board.
Thank you, Trustee Booz. I seek a motion and a second from the board to move Resolution 11.19, authorization to renew the Cisco networking equipment licenses to the regular board meeting on October 15th for adoption.
Madam Chair,
Trustee Booth.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I move to have
Trustee
11.19 to the regular board meeting.
Support.
Okay, thank you. It has been properly moved in second. Is there any discussion? Seeking no further discussion, the motion to move resolution 1119 authorization to review the Cisco networking equipment license to the regular meeting for adoption will be conducted by roll call. Trustee Rutherford? Rutherford? Trustee
Yes, please.
King?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
President McNeil?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
And Trustee Luna is absent. So we have 6 yes and 0 absent.
One absent.
One absent. I'm sorry. One
That's good.
absent. Okay. Superintendent Jones, I seek a motion, Superintendent Jones, I seek a motion and second from the board to move.
No, I'll do that.
No.
You want me to continue?
Yeah, just.
All right, I seek a motion.
Okay, will you continue?
I
I'm
sure
sorry.
will. I seek a motion and a second from the board to move resolution 11.20, authorization to repair the boiler system valves at Southwestern to the regular board meeting on October 15th for adoption.
Okay, it has been properly moved in second.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I move to have item 11.20 to the regular board meeting.
Support.
Okay, it has been properly moved by Trustee King and second by Claudia Perkins, Trustee Perkins. Any discussions?
Madam Chair. I just have a quick question, and maybe Mr. Allen can answer it. Why do I think we just did this? The boiler system.
At Southwestern,
Uh,
can anybody answer that?
The boiler systems are very involved and have multiple working systems throughout the building. But these boilers are 40 years old, and a lot of the valves and things are worn out and have to be repaired periodically. And the inspector required us to replace the relief valve. I don't know the year, every few years we have to replace these relief valves or have them recertified.
How many valves is it? I guess
We're just-
my question is, I don't mean to cut you off, I'll just make just one swapping question. Can we not piecemeal it? Can we just replace all the valves, or we just go keep doing it every other month? Is that
Well,
possible?
We only have to they only request replacement when they have expired their lifespan. So we don't have to replace them all at once. It's much more affordable to do it as needed throughout the district. It's going to be a repeat thing. Every so many years, the valves expire and have to be replaced, the relief valves. The other valve is a service valve to isolate the boiler so that we can keep one boiler operating while we service another boiler in case there's a problem with it. That's a main header valve, they call it. It isolates the boiler from the steam lines to the whole building so that we can keep one of the two boilers running while we service the second boiler. And it needs to be replaced because we haven't been able to do that for many years now.
So did I hear you say that I just heard you say it's 40 years old, correct? Over 40 years old, this boiler system.
Correct.
And it hasn't been any updates to it in 40 years? Is that what you're saying?
We've updated components of the systems,
Okay.
but the boilers themselves have not been replaced.
So the valves, $10,000. So we'll have to do another
Yeah.
one in the next couple of months?
No.
How often do they expire? I thought I heard you say something about when they
The
expire.
10,000 includes a main line valve that's a little more expensive than a relief valve. The relief valve is a safety device that's tested annually and has to be replaced, and don't quote me on this, but I believe every 3 or 5 years.
Okay.
They have a lifespan, and they expire, and then the inspector will make us replace them when they're deemed out of service.
Okay. I think what would help me is if we had a list of the work orders for them, so that way we'll know exactly what's what. Because in my mind, I'm thinking we replacing boilers and valves every month at ten to $25,000 a pop. So if it's possible, when we have that, if we can have the work orders, and so that you could see when repairs and maintenance have been done. Or am I asking for too much? Is that doable?
Those aren't really trackable in our normal work orders. These are discovered during inspections. And then we hire contractors to quote the repairs as needed.
Okay, so what I'm asking you is, as they say this needs to be repaired, then there's a date of when you get a request to repair it, there's a work order, and when it's complete, there's a sign off on it, correct? If not, that needs to be in place. Because that way you can see the maintenance of what's going on instead of someone, say for example, God forbid something happens to you, we at ground zero we need a track record. We need to see exactly where we are at these buildings because they're so aged. Is that making sense,
We would have
Mr.
to
Jones?
inventory an awful lot of devices and controls, and
We-
it's a little
we-
bit more.
We are aware of what we purchase and when they finish the job.
Okay,
Yeah, we have that documentation. That would be a part of check register. And also, whatever the receipt is, we have that documentation. I don't think he's understanding your question, but I do.
Okay,
I think
okay.
we do have the documentation of when a valve is changed or when we had to repair something. It's a part of the inspections that
Say
come through.
OSHA. I want to see that,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, our annual inspection report.
Okay.
will
I guess
come with
I just,
that.
all I'm asking is that when we have maintenance or things that where OSHA or outside entity inspector will be looking at, that we have a record of it, and when it come before the board, you have that supporting documentation. That's basically what I'm saying. I just would love to have supporting documentation. Thank you.
Any other questions? Discussion? Seeking no further discussion, a motion to move resolution 1120, authorization to repair the boiler system valve at Southwestern. When to move it to the regular meeting will be conducted by roll call. Trustee Rutherford?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee King?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
President McNeil?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
So we have 6 yes and 1 absent.
Ms. Cleese, would
Okay.
you come to the podium, please?
There's nothing else to it.
Okay, I think that's it. Okay.
Check register.
It's only check register.
Is there anything else on here? Oh, okay, 3rd page, okay. Okay. Does the board have any other questions? Okay, we'll close, this. Oh, okay. In your packet on page 42 is information item 12.2, monthly check registration. On page 49 is information item 12.3, disbursement report. Do the board members have any questions regarding that? Superintendent Jones,
Yes, ma'am.
do you have any thing to say about that?
Hold on.
Okay,
I'm on the speaker.
okay.
Mr. Jones, just for the record, could you explain for the public as well for some board members this ATAX taxing?
Yep.
That's kind of one, first time I kind of, since I've been on board, seen that. So,
Yep, Aztec Taxi and Shuttle.
Yes.
I'm gonna turn it over to Ms. Cleese, but I
Okay.
am more than sure that is our McKenty Bento,
Mm-hmm.
our homeless program, and students being picked up. So, Ms. Cleese, if you could just add to that.
Sure, that's correct. We use them as a vendor for our homeless students to transport them.
Could you explain the date? Did all these services occur on the same date?
No, they didn't. We paid them on the same date. For some reason, we weren't receiving the invoices timely, and so we were presented with a stack of them. And so that's why it's showing the same date.
And trustee Booz, no, superintendent doesn't have anything.
Okay.
I want to go back to page 103, even though we gave that total for the transportation. Then on that second line of Micah Pettigrew, is he a different vendor from the taxi company? Or is this something different?
What page are you on?
Transportation, page
Page
103.
103. Bus for Craig's Cruisers,
Yeah, so what is that?
ETL.
Yeah.
This vendor was used for a bus rental, and this was for a field trip that was paid through for the network grant. But that one was for a field trip. So yes, that's a separate
And
vendor.
same thing with Euclid, the one underneath?
Yep, this was a design studio. This was used for when they had the Back to the Books event. That was the vendor used.
So these funds are paid through a grant?
Yes. So what you'll see is the check register is just kind of a summary of all the checks. And then, of course, the disbursement shows which fund was used to pay them. So that's the difference kind of between the two reports.
Okay. Okay. You have a question? Okay.
So going back to the Aztec taxi and shuttle, is there a reason why we use this vendor?
This is a vendor that our McKinney-Vento supervisor has been using for years. So I'm not sure they are able to provide the transportation, because my understanding is it's kind of hard to find transportation for the McKinney-Vento students. So this has been a vendor that has been approved to use throughout the years.
Are they ever reviewed, or is there ever any, I mean, I don't really like what I'm hearing. I just hear this, for some reason, we've received a stack of invoices in a not timely manner, and, well, this is how it's always been done, and it's hard to find these services, so this is who we're stuck with, kind of thing, and it's kind of concerning given the amount of money and the fact that when I was doing AP and AR, like, to receive a stack of invoices on a particular date all at once for several tens of thousands of dollars is not best practices. So I'm just kind of curious. You're like, for some reason we received a stack of invoices. Was it for some reason on our end or on their end?
My understanding is we never received the invoices from them, so the supervisor reached out to them, and that's when we were pretty much received a stack of them.
And this is through the McKinney-Vento grant?
Yes. No, this was through our 31A at-risk grant. But
31,
the
okay, right, right,
McKinney-Vento
right. Yeah,
program.
Yes. So even though it's grant funded, again, I'm just a little alarmed that here we've got some, smoothly oiled machine that's been running for a while that nobody's kind of looking at, that kind of is just sending in invoices maybe when they're nudged and kind of coerced into doing it. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like how this looks. I don't like the practices. I think it's sloppy and late. Not on your part. I am not judging, our end on this. What I'm saying is that I'm tired of this happening in the district. That we get lazy and complacent, that there's not any oversight, that it's kind of like, well, this is how it's always been, and then when you do a deeper dive into it, so is there some way we can review this, or some way that we can, because given the total amount, I haven't calculated the total amount, but wouldn't it be something that needs to be RFP'd?
No.
No, I mean, it's already paid, I understand that, but it's something it's going to keep occurring, right? It's an ongoing cost. And so this particular company just gets carte blanche to just sort of charge whatever, whenever?
So we do, there are other vendors that are used for McKinney-Vento transportation, but it's just a matter of who's available to transport the students. So it's about, I want to say 3 or 4, and we do run them through the state of Michigan vendor to make sure they're not on the do not use list. But I can get more information for you.
It's just another thing that just just disturbs me because it doesn't seem like there's any care or any oversight, and so maybe I'll do a deeper dive. I don't want you to put yourself out at all. I don't want to put any work on you. I'm just sort of talking out loud as things occur to me. So thanks for your patience.
Okay, Trustee Relaford.
All right, thank you. Hi, Ms. Cleaves.
Hello.
I think for me, the accounting is ridiculous. You got to have a date. You can't process anything without a service date. And for $88,000 in 1 month, that's a red flag to anyone. And to me, I would love to see the books for them for the last year, because at 88, I'm not the biggest math person, but at $88,000 a month times 12, that's a whole lot of money.
Right, this is just not 1 month's bill, though.
Well, that's what this
It's
says.
like
so
throughout the year.
check dates from 9/1/2025 to 9/30/2025. So when I'm looking at this, all the dates are for 9/12/2025. What would make me think that this is not just for September? Because if the check was ran in September, the invoice should have dates. If the invoices came in yesterday, they're not getting paid until we go through every invoice. That should be standard. So I'm appalled that this got to us and it got paid. This shouldn't have got paid, because you can't. There's no supporting documentation to this. And as they say, I could trust you, but I need to verify it. I can't verify it. But if this $88,000 has gotten paid, how many other $88,000 have been paid every month to this vendor? I would love to see this vendor come have a conversation, because where can you go in Flint that's $1,700? Flint's not big enough for these prices that we're looking at. It's just not. I could see if they were in California and they were going from LA to San Francisco, I could see that. But this is just unacceptable to me, and I would just like to see Aztec's booked for the last 12 months. I would like to see what we paid them, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm going to look for invoice and dates, and I want them to match, because that right there, it's certain thing as fraud. I'm in the medical field, so you see a lot of fraud. People will submit stuff that they did not render services for, and we just in a position here at Flint Schools to where every dollar counts. We're going to start building a new school, and we need to have every dollar accounted for. This right here, this is egregious to me. Thank you.
Okay, Trustee King.
Yeah,
and then Trustee Perkins.
Okay, great. All right. Hi, Ms. Cleaves.
Hello.
So what I hear from my colleagues is the concern, basically the first concern would be all on one day, 9/12. I would ask, what have been put in place to not have the same? Yeah, what has been put in place to not? So you said the vendor gave you a pile of invoices, right?
Yes, they went to the supervisor.
Went to
the McKinney-
supervisor,
yeah.
and the supervisor had to ask for it, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So what has been put in place since then to make sure that we receive proper invoices at the right time? Because I can hear my colleagues' concerns, because it appears that it's all on one day, even though this service probably been rendered since July, or since we started school, or how long?
Right, so I'm going to run the vendor report for Aztec as
Yeah.
requested, because this isn't just like the only amount that we've
Right.
paid to them.
I agree.
But my understanding was that each invoice was double-checked and verified that, one, it wasn't a duplicate, that
Yep.
we hadn't paid it in a previous payment.
And so if I may, so when it says invoice number, that's the verification of, that's a different invoice, right?
Yes.
Which I understand that piece. What I want to know, though, is how can we make sure the vendor submit timely what's the requirement? Like, what has been put in place to prevent that from happening again? Because, to my colleague's concern is, if it's all been paid on one day, in that case, as it looks appears here, I see the invoice number, the difference is there. But here in the concern piece, how do they make sure we get timely invoices so we don't have this problem again?
Right. So the discussion has been had about making sure certain bills we have to pay monthly.
Mm-hmm.
So including that in our checklist of monthly payments that
Yes.
have to be made.
Okay, awesome. And then, so moving forward, have we always received late invoices in that way?
Yes, from transportation, period, like the vendors we use.
Yeah.
All of them have been.
So what
Yes.
mechanism has been put in place to ensure that we receive timely invoices? Because when you say receiving late invoices, I think it'd be different in conversation if they receive late payment, if that makes sense.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so it works on both sides. So when you say that, my colleagues, I can hear them, like, wait a minute, we have to pay our things on time. Why can't, they submit things on time as well? So what has been put in place since then, after we noticed that, to rectify that?
So I have spoken with our accounts payable person,
Mhm.
and so making sure that people are receiving the invoices timely, meaning the correct people are receiving the invoices. Because if it's going to someone, say, that no longer works for the district, that's not helpful either, because it'll just sit there and never, just sit in the email or get rejected and never get paid. So that goes back to that checklist, making sure these are the payments we have to pay monthly, and a follow-up to say, where is this invoice?
Okay.
Whereas if we don't receive it, we can contact the vendor to ask where it is.
Okay, so moving forward, we should see some different dates and so forth, right?
Yes.
Okay, I look forward to seeing that. Thank you.
You know what? I think they would have a shock to their system if we say, no, we're not paying it, period. You get those invoices to us on time, and if you can't do that, then you don't want your pay. Something has to be put in place. Something has to be put in place, and they need to do their job. Somebody is falling down on the job on their part. And if they understand that that's the kind of thing that's not going to be acceptable going forward, then they'll straighten up and fly right. So.
Okay, any other discussion?
I just have one more question for Ms. Cleaves. General funds for the month of December, $3.8 million came out of general fund.
Wait a minute,
This is
excuse me, I
September.
wasn't able to
Oh, I'm
go
so
through it.
sorry. I
wanted
didn't
to
see
finish
you.
this. You went to another one.
No, no, no.
It's just the same thing.
It's on the, go ahead, go ahead.
Thank you for all you're doing. I just want to say this here, that normally when things come to us, the payments have already been dispersed. And there's a process based on auditing that you're following the procedure. I think what is astonished to us is that we have this big, huge, and we never had that big amount. But somewhere down the line, board member, we have our packages. I think Pam put them out Monday or Friday. These are things that we should look at, and then you call your chairperson or treasurer, and you say, I want to look at this. Or we have a communication log, and you question it. Because once something is paid for, we're sitting here, that's done. It's done because it's been paid for. We went through this years ago. And I know that this accounting in your department is accurate because we always do very well in auditing. But I think we're spending a lot of time on this, and those are good questions. When you see something in your board package that you just question, send it in on a questionnaire, send it in before we get here, because it makes it look like we're doing something that we don't know what we're doing. We do know what we're doing. It's just that we should have reviewed this and had those questions done later. That's the
Right.
proper way that we do this.
Right.
Nobody is doing anything illegal here. It's just that board members, we get things and we kind of like, oh my God, we saw this. But this been in your board package for, I think I saw mine Friday. I can't believe. But, so this is the way that we should do this. You see something in the check register, you have your package with you, send a questionnaire out. We putting people in awkward position and then making it look like somebody's not doing what they're supposed to be doing when we as the board have not done due diligence to ask these questions prior to coming here. I was just a little surprised at transportation. I kind of want to know a couple of things. So when I get it, I got to put in some questions and ask certain questions that I want, if that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Any other discussions? If there's no other discussion, seeking no further business, I declare the Financial and Operation Committee as a whole meeting adjourned at,
Thank you.
let's see,
7:25.
7:20.
I think it's back to Mr. Jones, isn't it?
Okay.
What you, no, say, who you turning it over back to?
I just turn over to you.
Oh, yeah, you're doing
Academic.
academic.
For the academic portion.
So you ended that, now we're going into academics.
Okay.
You're chairing two meetings, okay.
Yes. I would like to call the Academic Committee of a whole meeting to order. I would now call Superintendent Jones to present action to the board.
Thank you. I seek a motion and a second from the board to move Resolution 25.10, approval of course catalog 2025-2026 to the regular board meeting on October 15th for adoption.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I move to have item 25.10 moved to the regular board meeting.
Support.
Okay, it has properly been moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the motion to move Resolution 25.10, approval of course catalog 2025 through 2026 to regular meeting for the adoption will be conducted by roll call vote. Secretary Perkins?
Yes.
President McNeil?
Yes.
Vice President McIntyre?
Yes.
Okay, Luna is absent. Trustee Luna's absent. Trustee Rutherford?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
And myself, yes. So it's 6 yes and 1 absent. Okay. Superintendent Jones?
Thank you.
Okay. Seeking no further business, I declare the Academic Committee of the whole adjourned.
Good time.
Okay, at 7:27 p.m.
Okay. Thank you very much. At this time, we're getting ready to do our remarks from individual board members. At this point, I would like for Mr. Jones to address the comment regarding the first speaker that came for concerning homes.
Thank you, Board President. We were notified by the principal that there was a teacher who sent a letter home to families without authorization concerning asbestos in the doors of homes. Before we took occupancy of the building that the Board of Education had put $40 million into, along with this building, which was a fraction of the cost of the renovations. We went through all testing. We went through compliances with the state. We were not going to be able to occupy the building if there was any danger to students or to our staff. There's booklets in every building with the information in it when the building was tested, and that information must remain in the building at all times. Specifically, I want to make sure that the board and the community know, just because this was raised, we have called Arch Environmental. We are going to spend the time with our attorneys, Arch Environmental, and also Clark Construction, to reassure our families and to reassure the community that the work was completed and the work was done appropriately. We could not occupy buildings if there was a danger for students. This particular person did not come to the administration of the school to ask to see the booklet or to know what was actually going on. So I want to say that we will be sending information to families, but we wanted to complete reaching out to the appropriate people and getting our attorney to tell us how to move forward. We did not want to send anything out without that authorization. So as I told you, board members, when I found out about this, we've been on top of this ever since. I'd like to thank Mr. Velez and also Dr. Coleman and also Ms. Danetta Moore for ensuring that things have been done properly and making sure that we're dotting i's in this situation. So just wanted to address it. Also, Board President, if you don't mind, I'd like to address Freeman.
Yes.
We did have a fire in one of the ovens. There was a box in one of the ovens, and it caught flame. It was put out. No students or staff was harmed in that situation. The fire police, the fire marshal was called, and fire department was called. Students were evacuated properly, and drills were had properly, so things were done, and phone calls were made to parents. So students are back in school over at Freeman. Students are in school without any harm at homes, and I appreciate families being concerned about these matters and bringing those matters to our attention. However, we want to make sure protocols are followed so that people know the truth and they are able to look at any one of those books if they would like to, because we have to stay up to date with the state of Michigan. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments from the board?
Madam Chair.
Trustee Rutherford?
Thank you, Superintendent Jones. To the three individuals, particularly the architect, the second gentleman, I'm not sure of you. Kurt, I think, is he still here? I would love to, well, this is recorded. When it comes to historic properties and trying to maintain them, that gets into the millions and millions and millions of dollars. And, thank you. I appreciate residents being interested in what's going on, but it's like Monday morning quarterback. We've asked for help and asked for opinions, and once we move forward and you see a glimpse of what's coming, now everyone wants to come and say, do this, do that, do this, do that. If we continue to do that, we'll never move forward. So it's always advantageous to put something in writing and send it to us as a board. We'll read it probably at different times, but you best believe we will read it when the time comes. But I appreciate that. But to have Central and that Whittier campus come to life, that's a major, major milestone for us. And it's very, very disingenuous to say, I want you to do it this way. Don't do that. Let's work together. We could clap about this. We can do this together. And also to the parents, when it comes to public schools and using public funds, there is a certain level of safety every building must have. It's not up to the leadership of the building on what happens. And in this environment, in this country, we have a lot of chaos and confusion and individuals that's using scare tactics. When an individual decides not to go the proper way and they just go to ignite, it's just like saying fire in a movie. Don't do that. That's not good. And someone could have read that and had an asthma attack or something. So I say to everyone, if you have a concern, reach out to the leadership of the building. If that doesn't work, you have the administration. If that doesn't work, you have the board. Utilize what you have access to prior to starting a forest fire. Because once a fire starts, we all just looked at California. They lost everything because of one spark. So if we all can do our due diligence and just respond rather than to react, because all of this could have been avoided. I know Ms. Sims. I know her personally. And to see her and to hear her talk, that kind of, broke my heart to say, me as a board member, there's no way I would let something like that happen. And all of us, not just myself, but everyone up here, we live here. We have to live in this city to be on this board. So that affects us. So don't ever think that we don't care. We do care. We have compassion. And we will hurt somebody for these kids. I know I will, because this district has got me to where I am today. So I just really wanted to say that we're not here because we have to be. We're here because we want to be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee McIntyre.
Yeah, so I normally don't respond to public comments, but there were two things that were mentioned that I would like to address anyway. The first is the concern about the environment and the asbestos, and I think that that is a legitimate concern and something that we should all be thinking about at all times, and I appreciate the bravery for coming forward and speaking even when your voice shakes, kind of thing. So I'm glad that it's been addressed, but I also wanted to say that I keep reiterating that we're a community, that we're the Flint Community Schools, and that it's all of our jobs to keep the information out there and to be aware of just, what is in our community. So as a post-industrial city, we're dealing with asbestos. And as we all know, we have not had new builds in 50 years. This is the first time we've had a new build. So I think we can safely assume that every single school building has asbestos in it. And that we know this. And we are very, very careful about knowing where it is, having the reports. We're required by law. We have our booklets. When there's any kind of maintenance or any kind of renovation, it's always checked. Are we going to be disturbing A, B, or C? Is it going to be in compliance? Is it OSHA compatible? All these different things. So I want to assure you that we are very, very diligent about that. In fact, one of the things that Trustee King was diligent about when he first joined the board was asking, what's going to happen with the asbestos remediation? What are the plans? What does this look like? Can you walk me through this? But that's not to say that we shouldn't be asking questions, because we should always be asking that question. So I thank you for bringing that up. But again, I want us to come together, to embrace each other, to be a team, not to think of each other as adversaries, like that we're trying to sneak something past, we're trying to, take shortcuts, because like Trustee Relaford said, we live here. We have to be concerned about continuing lead in the water, about PFAS in our water, about the fact that we've got a Chevy Commons where people are taking picnics and walks, and it's a brownfield. You know what I'm saying? It's like we have to live with these things every single day, and we should be asking questions, and we should be making sure that it's safe. And with the Flint schools, we've got a very specific alley of responsibility for those things. So thanks. I'm trusting Superintendent Jones to keep us apprised of these developments. I'm making the assumption that it's going well, but again, we shouldn't always make assumptions. We should keep on top of that. And kind of in that line with renovations, versus renovations and restoration and remediation, I listened carefully. I have my own opinions about historic buildings and property. I love keeping in touch with the past. If it were my way personally, I would love to have all old buildings restored and maintained and preserved. But it's frustrating to me that, like Trustee Relaford said, that we've got some Monday morning quarterbacks coming in. We have to be cognizant and articulate what has been done to us deliberately and intentionally in the past. That building was it was taken away from us. It was left with the doors open. I didn't want that to happen. I wanted something to be done in the interim so that it wasn't deteriorating. We have to deal with the past and with the consequences of that past. I like the proposals being put forward. Do I think it's the best? I'm not, again, everyone is going to have an opinion about how to do this, but it has to also be put into the context that we are a public school system that is being disinvested in. We are being deliberately kept short of money. So it would be lovely to do a public-private partnership, like with the School for the Deaf, or with the Capitol Theater. The Capitol Theater building took $4 million of our water relief money and put it into a building. So while I love the way that building looks, I'm really angry with how it was done. So I don't want something like that happening at the Flint schools. Our primary responsibility is making sure that the kids are taken care of, the families are taken care of, that we have public schools, and that we get those reading and writing rates, that we get literacy proficiency and those things. Buildings are secondary. As much as I would love to have new schools and incorporate the buildings from the past, please help us keep our schools, keep our kids able to go to a public school. If you would want to see a nice, beautiful building, go raise some money. Help us get some grants. Bring it in. Bring in something in addition to the paltry amount that we're being drip-dropped from the federal government and the state, that we have to educate our kids with, in addition to maintaining buildings and paying salaries and things like that. So there's a lot to be said, but please come and help us as opposed to demanding things from us. We need everybody on all hands on deck. Thank you.
All hands on deck, yes.
Are there any more comments from the board before I speak?
Madam Chair.
Trustee King?
Yeah, I'll first say thank you, Mr. Jones, for the reassurance that you provided earlier. Thank you to the speaker that brought it to the microphone. The concern is valid. I mean, our community has been through so much, has been put through a lot. And when you have a staff member put a letter out unauthorized like that to cause disarray inside of a community, that's concerning. You would trust that a teacher, we value teachers every day, and we take it as a credible source. It's concerning that after all the trust and the efforts this Board of Education administration has been putting inside in the community to rebuild, to seeing that a report go out to families like that and not, being reassured by a teacher and a staff member of a district. There's one thing I do value, is parents' willingness to trust teachers. There's a second thing where I value that there's also a method of verification. And so Superintendent Jones, once that report get out, I look forward to, taking it and reading it. I'm sure, as we already stated, put $40 million into this campus. This building here, I would say, is a testament to our willingness and our effort to rebuild trust back into the community, as this is a community hub resource center. Also to the speakers that spoke about Central, thank you for being a part of the democratic process to talk about where you think things should be improved. I would also just say that we're in the draft stage. It's one thing. I mean, this building we put a graphic up what this would look like. It changed shortly after, but thank you for the input. I think we'll go back and have a conversation about it. But I look forward to just seeing the great things that's going to happen in this district that will benefit the community as a whole.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just briefly, Just briefly, I would like to thank the grandparent who did come. I didn't get her full name again. Ms. Sims, thank you for coming. And thank you and your daughter for entrusting the Flint schools with your grandchildren. And because that's what we want. And, you can come to us at any time. Thank you.
I just want to say that we are scholar-focused. They are our main priority, and we're going to make sure that they are safe. And you can count on that. This board has come together and we are working to make it better for all of us. We're trying to improve the Flint Public Schools, get the enrollment up, and do all that we can. Get the parents in here. That, remember when we came up, we had PTA. We got to get involved. Not just the grandparents, the parents. And so we are doing everything we can to make it better for all of us and for our community. So we are striving for better. That's the bottom line. So I want to reassure you, Ms. Sims, because we go all the way back. Yeah, that we are doing everything we can to keep them safe, and that's our goal. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank all board members for your comments. I want to speak directly to Ms. Sims. I really appreciate you. You're what my heart been crying for. Because when the grandmother speaks, then she can get to the message to the parents. I want you to leave here today with this in your heart. Education, sports, everything that you have, we have it here in this district. What we need to have, we are working on the test scores. We're working on getting those scores up because the state is heavy on us, on getting our kids. And we need parents to come in so it can help us. A teacher cannot teach with a disrespectful kid. A teacher cannot teach when chaos is in the room. This board here, we watch this community. We watch the system, knowing that your babies were drinking poison water, some unto death. We watched the system as we went through the pandemic. I want to tell you, I would not be sitting here if I didn't have a heart to help it change. I think everybody here, and my superintendent tell you, that's our passion. If your child is not learning, let's look at classroom management. We talk about this RE4, we are putting together, we have people talk about us traveling. We don't go traveling taking a field trip. We came back with the guy from Mississippi, the Mississippi Miracle. We're looking for tutors to do one-on-one. We went back and we got a consultant for the board and have a consultant on this side, working with the founders and everybody so we can bring back better. I don't want to go back to what we have. And I would just love for you to just keep coming, bring your kids with you, but walk away with this. If there's 1 inch of something wrong in this building, Superintendent Jones, this board, we would jump on it. Rest assured, with all of this out here that you guys see, is for us. It's for the community. But we want you to take care of it as well. And it took us a lot. We are the only entity, and I'm going to say this and wrap it up. This board has put over $156 million in renovating, rebranding Flint to make it a better place. The Bible said, leave an inheritance for your children. If you don't leave your child a good education and the ability to read and write and arithmetic, you have left them nothing.
That's right.
And that is what we're here. We're giving them new tracks. We're giving them everything. It is our responsibility to give them what they want. I'm making a cry to the parents. Trust Flint with your kids. Trust this board with your children. And also tell them we need classroom management. And when something is wrong with this district, don't go out like that. Come to the board. They come for everything. Anybody know they comes to the board for everything. It will be addressed. And I got 2 or 3 board members, they don't care. They're going to address it. And they should. And I just want to thank you guys for your time. We're kind of running over, but we are steady working hard. We work on Sunday. We work on Saturday. Summer, And I finally got a chance to wash dishes for a time because that's how hard we've been working to get to where we at. Now we moving forward to get to another school. And you know what? Because we don't call your name, so if it pleases the board, she wants to speak. Is it okay? You're important. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you did a great job. Public speaking is over. We normally don't allow public to come in and speak during board comment. And listen, I'm no, I'm just doing this because so much was shared, and that was a very serious issue that you brought that we had to address. Given all of that, the board. Oh yeah, Mr. Jones has one more thing to say, and then we're gonna give you an announcement, and the meeting will be adjourned.
Just speaking towards some of the work that the Board of Education has done in this district, the Board of Education has been invited to the Michigan Association of School Board conference in Traverse City to speak about our partnerships in the community. There's many boards that are interested in finding out how to work with philanthropy and also partners in the community. And so myself, along with Dr. Jamerson and our board president, has been asked to do a presentation for the state of Michigan on the partnership on this campus, actually, the work that we've done around this campus. So that's going to be taking place in Traverse City, October 25th.
22nd.
It's,
No, we leave
I
on the
understand.
22nd.
The
Yeah.
the event
Doing the 25th.
that we're speaking at is on the 25th, which is a Saturday, and we're doing a clinic on school board, philanthropy, and partnerships in a school system.
Okay.
So just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of
And
that.
this
Thank you,
all
Board
come
President.
from the good work that the board has done. And if you know, years ago, we was on the negative side. Nothing could get done. Nothing's gonna get done when you talk about each other. Nothing gonna get done. And we change, when you change board, we grab that hold ourselves, and we moving forward. Other cities are looking at us. They want to know how we get certified. They want to see how we went from dysfunctional. And I'm first to say we were very dysfunctional. I was one of them, and to being functional. And so,
Right.
and one of the thing is when you can admit your fault, because
That's
every one
right.
of us, every one of us have been dysfunctional.
At
Every
some
last one
point.
of us done been dysfunctional. So every last one of us. But we learn from those mistakes because guess what? Our focus on the greatest outcome of the children. I don't have time to worry about the other stuff.
That's
But
right.
we stay focused on these kids, and you stand focused on the children, and everybody in here stand focused. We do not have time because we live in some perilous time. And if we don't care about each other, nobody's going to come and rescue us but us. I'm telling you to bring your children back to the public school where you can come and have these conversations and be safe. On that
Amen.
note, thank you.
Amen.
On that note, the Board of Education will hold its next meeting on Wednesday, October 15th, here at the Cube again at 6:30.
Amen.
Seeing no further business, this board is adjourned.
Adjourned.
Oh my God, I hit my own phone, 7:53. Oh, Mr. Jones, you got to buy me a. Oh, you got to pay for this one.